In the early stages of inner liberation, there is a truth you must face early. Otherwise, it will drain you. No one will understand you. Not your friends, not your family, not even the people who love you deeply. And the moment you stop expecting understanding, something inside you begins to relax. In the early stages of awakening, you are not becoming someone new. You are remembering something old, something quiet, something that was always there beneath the noise. And because this remembrance is subtle, internal, and energetic, the outer world cannot reflect it back to you. This is why the first shock of awakening is not peace. It is isolation. Not physical isolation, but inner isolation. You may still be surrounded by people, still attend gatherings, still talk and laugh. Yet something feels different. You feel unseen, unrecognized, misunderstood, and the instinctive reaction is to explain yourself. You try to put words around what you feel. You try to describe the shift inside you. You try to justify your new boundaries, your new silence, your new sensitivity. But every explanation leaves you more tired than before. Because awakening is not an idea. It is not a philosophy. It is not a belief system. It is a change in how you experience reality. And experiences cannot be transferred through language. You could speak for hours and still feel unheard. So wisdom at this stage is not in perfect communication. Wisdom is in restraint, in knowing when silence serves you better than speech. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim enormous energy. Energy that was being lost trying to be understood by people who are simply not in the same inner place. This does not mean they are wrong. It does not mean you are superior. It means you are different in this moment. Just as a child cannot understand adulthood, and adulthood cannot return to childhood innocence, different levels of awareness do not fully translate. And this is not a tragedy. It is a natural law. Another shift happens quietly at this stage. You begin to notice emotions you thought you had already healed. Old triggers return. Old reactions surface. Old wounds reopen. This often confuses people. They think awakening should make them calmer, lighter, more loving immediately. But liberation does not begin with light. It begins with release. And release means what was buried must rise to the surface. This is where anger appears. Anger that surprises you. Anger that feels disproportionate. Anger that seems to come from nowhere. But it is not coming from nowhere. It is coming from everywhere you once swallowed your truth. Every moment you stayed silent. Every time you adapted to survive. Every time you abandoned yourself to be accepted, all of that energy remained in the body. Now, as awareness grows, the body begins to empty itself. Anger is one of the first doors. This does not mean you are becoming aggressive. It means you are becoming honest. But honesty without awareness can be destructive. So this stage requires something subtle. Allow the anger to be felt, but do not let it act. Anger wants movement. Awareness provides space. When anger arises, your only task is to remain present, not to suppress, not to express outwardly, not to justify, just to feel. Feel it in the chest, feel it in the stomach, feel it in the jaw, feel it as raw sensation without story. When you remove the story, the emotion loses fuel, and something extraordinary happens. The anger passes without leaving damage behind. This is how purification occurs, not through action, not through confrontation, but through allowing. In this first phase of awakening, you are not here to fix your life. You are here to stabilize your inner space, which is why one rule must be respected above all. Never make life decisions while emotionally charged. Do not end relationships. Do not burn bridges. Do not redefine your future. Let clarity come later. Clarity only arrives when the nervous system feels safe, and safety comes from stillness. If you feel misunderstood right now, it does not mean you are alone. It means you are early. If anger feels close to the surface, it does not mean you are regressing. It means your body trusts you enough to release what it has been holding. Nothing is wrong. This is the beginning. As awakening deepens, the lesson becomes more refined. It is no longer about what you feel. It is about what you do with what you feel. In the second phase of inner liberation, you begin to notice something subtle. The emotions still arise, but they no longer control you as easily. You start to sense the difference between feeling and acting, and this distinction changes everything. Most of humanity lives reactively. A feeling appears, and action follows immediately. Anger, reaction, fear, avoidance, sadness, withdrawal. Awakening introduces a pause, a gap between impulse and movement, and inside that gap is freedom. This is why stillness becomes the most important practice. Not meditation as a technique, but stillness as a way of relating to experience. You begin to see that every emotion has a lifespan. It arises, it peaks, it dissolves. But only if you don't interfere. The moment you act from emotion, you extend its life. You feed it. You solidify it. This is why decisions made in emotional states create long-term consequences. A message sent in anger takes seconds, but may take years to undo. A boundary set from fear feels protective, but becomes a prison. So the awakened path is not passive, it is precise. You wait until the emotional charge settles. Only then do you ask, what action, if any, is truly aligned? Sometimes the answer is action. Sometimes it is silence. Sometimes it is letting go. But the key is timing. Wise action is not urgent. It does not rush. It does not demand immediate expression. It arises naturally from clarity. As this clarity grows, your relationships begin to change. Not because you push people away, but because you no longer meet them from need. You stop seeking validation. You stop seeking understanding. And paradoxically, this is when understanding sometimes appears without effort. But even if it doesn't, you are no longer dependent on it. You become anchored internally. This is true freedom, not freedom from emotion, but freedom within emotion. Not control, but intimacy without attachment. In this stage, you trust life more. You trust that clarity will come without force. You trust that what needs to leave will leave, and what stays will be aligned. Stillness becomes home, and from stillness, life unfolds with surprising intelligence.